FAMU, I love thee. I'll fight and win whatever the battle be. The orange and the green, thy sun shall ever defend, and lower your two Bibles of love attend. FAMU, I love.
Good afternoon. Again, I am Evan Bailey, a third-year business administration student from Kansas City, Missouri. To Dean Friday Stroud and all of my fellow SBIans in attendance, I would like to welcome you to another continuation in our 2013-2014 Forum Series. Today we have the esteemed pleasure of having Mr. Thomas G. Bolen III. Thomas G. Bolen III was born in Palmdale, California, and later relocated to the Washington, D.C. area, where he graduated from T.C. Williams High School. Watching the struggle and later success of his father's contracting business inspired Thomas to continue in his father's legacy. Chasing his dream to become a member in the world-renowned Marching 100 resulted in Thomas only applying to Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University's School of Business and Industries 5-year MBA program. Since his time at FAMU, Thomas developed a sincere passion to serve the student body and Tallahassee community. He has served as co-host on 90.5 OANM SGA Talks, created and anchored Forum Recap, represented SBI in national case competition, served on SBI's Roundtable, and founded the Real Estate and Leadership Club. Partnering with Exchange Company, Thomas recently launched a program, It Starts With Us, where he leads a group of elite students dedicated to reaching every Tallahassee high school in an effort to increase Tallahassee's enrollment in the School of Business and Industry. In his spare time, Mr. Bolen is active in musical and ministerial activities, participating in various speaking engagements. Thomas has a deep love for empowering the youth, and he looks forward to his younger sister's, Lyric Bolen, enrollment in FAMU/FSU's engineering program in fall 2014. SBI, let's please give a warm welcome to Mr. Thomas G. Bolen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I said good afternoon. All right, there we go. First and foremost, I want to give honor and thanks to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who is the head, author, and finisher in everything that I do. To Dr. Friday Stroud, I don't know if she's here right now, but I definitely want to thank her. Matter of fact, I think she deserves a round of applause. To the CEO of Forum, Ariana Williams, Dr. Ashley, Miss Rozier, all SBI faculty and staff. I also see one of my mentors, Reverend Tyree Anderson. He's in the building. Tyree, thank you for coming. You told me almost 11 years ago that I'll be doing just this, and I appreciate you for having faith in me when I didn't have faith in myself. To my uncle and auntie Belinda. To my uncle and auntie Belinda, I also thank you for showing up today. They gave me my first car. Really. Second semester of my freshman year, and I'm telling you, I ran that car down. I pulled out the driveway this morning and the brakes gave out on me, but it's gonna take more than some brakes to stop me from speaking today. So appreciate you all. To Flavia Kenyago, I appreciate you. She's been putting up with me for the past couple of days, helping me with my presentation. And Dr. Collins, I thank you, Doc. I wouldn't be up here if it wasn't for Dr. Collins. And so thank you for going to the game. Last but not least, because I know you all are getting sick of me thanking folk, my dad decided to drive 12 hours to surprise me on this day. And I did not know that he was coming, and he's sitting right here on the front row. Dad, I appreciate you for being here. I really do. So again, I'm very humbled. I never thought that I would be standing before you all before I graduated. I've always had aspirations and dreams of speaking in Forum, but I always thought it would happen after I went out and did something to then be invited to come back. And so I'm humbled. I'm humbled at this experience right now, and I thank you all. With that being said, I'm a grandson of a pastor and a son of a preacher. And I was given 15 to 20 minutes to do this presentation, but I think I just took up about 15 of those minutes. So with the remaining 5 minutes that I have, this topic of what it means to be an SBI leader, I struggle with this topic mainly because I focus on specifically the SBI leadership aspect. But I can't deduce and analyze what it means to be an SBI leader without first dealing with what it means to be a leader. And so as we enter into this area or this time of celebrating some of our historical African American leaders, this Black History Month, there's one individual leader that I want to lift up. There was a boy born on January 15th, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. He attended Booker T. Washington High School, a prestigious student. He skipped both the 9th and the 12th grade. I said he skipped both the 9th and the 12th grades. He entered Morehouse College at the age of 15. And without formally graduating from high school, in 1948, he graduated from Morehouse with a BA degree in sociology and enrolled in Crozier Theological Seminary in Chester, Pennsylvania, from which he graduated with a Bachelor's of Divinity degree. In 1951, at the young age of 25, this gentleman became the pastor of Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama. I said at the age of 25, he became pastor. December 1st, 1955, the same day that Rosa Parks was arrested, he led the Montgomery bus boycott. During the duration of the boycott, which lasted a little over a year, he was arrested. His home was bombed. He was subjected to personal abuse and threats, but his determination for justice led him to continue fighting. And on December the 20th, 1956, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled segregation on public buses unconstitutional. This gentleman was Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, and he is noted for his I Have a Dream speech and died an American pastor, American activist, and humanitarian, and leader in the African American Civil Rights Movement. Why did I choose to introduce and reflect on this individual? Anybody can answer this. Okay, seeing that they only gave me 15 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. Before Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King was Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, he was already acting in a leadership position. He was already acting in some type of leadership capacity, which means what, Thomas Bolen? I'm glad you asked, SBI. Leadership is not anything that you put on. It's not anything that you wake up in the morning and decide that you're gonna be, Evan. It's not anything that you just, I wish I could explain this. And check this out. Leadership is a lifestyle. Leadership is a lifestyle. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, before the position, before the accolades, before the titles, he was already a leader. The leader is in you. Some of that went over your head. I don't have time to go into the story that I wanted to go into, but if you spend time talking to some of your doctors, your professors, they'll tell you before they got their doctorate degree, they was already a doctor. That doctor certificate didn't make them PhD certified. They were already PhD certified before they got the certificate. So Ms. Williams, I'm gonna go ahead and call you a doctor right now before you walk across the stage, because you're already implementing programs. You're already helping students out. You're already acting in that leadership position. The leader is in you. And see, that's what's wrong with us right now. Some of us, even my generation, we spend too much time worrying about the classifications and the titles, and we tend to substitute that for leadership. Some of us have over 1,000 followers on Instagram and 0 in real life. I wish I had a witness. I wish I had a witness. Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Just because you're a 4th or 5th year student or an MBA candidate does not make you a leader. I know some 1st and 2nd year students that have outrun some 5-year MBA program candidates right now. Understand this. The leader is in you. The leader is in you. Which brings me to my first point, Flavia. You don't choose to be a leader. People choose to follow. And let me make this statement clear. I don't claim to have all of the answers. I'm not claiming to know it all. I have some faults. I probably misled some of you all during my leadership. I probably acted in ways I shouldn't have. You probably see me in some places I shouldn't have been. I said I don't have all of the answers. I kind of feel like Kanye West in that Sway interview. You don't have all the answers. I know I don't. And this brings me to my second point, which was initially that leadership was submissive. But I knew that some of you all would take that out of context, because if you're a leader, then why would you submit to somebody, right? Every leader needs a leader. I want everybody to understand that. Every leader needs a leader. Dean, I need you. Really? No, seriously. I need you. There's a specific proverb in a book called Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 17, don't you know? And it reads, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. And every leader submits himself to somebody. I took the time to observe SBI's system. I analyzed it, and I hear some teeth sucking, but that's okay. Because Dr. Sybil C. Mobley, our Dean Emeritus, was one heck of an individual. She was a great woman. I see Dr. Ashley cheesing right now. I say Dr. Sybil C. Mobley was a great individual, and she laid out this system. It's genius. Check it out. Those of us in leadership positions right now, we know what it's like to be a first-year student. We know what it's like to be a second-year student. But you want to know what's happening? Some of us are getting in these leadership positions, and we're not giving back. We're failing at reaching back to the first and second-year students. We are lacking as a school, and we may fail as a generation because we are not holding each other accountable. It used to be a time where we would check on one another and correct one another. You go back and you ask your grandmother. You go back and you ask your grandfather. They held themselves accountable. They reached back. I say they reached back. We used to stand together for a cause. We couldn't have boycotted and marched without holding each other accountable. Without accountability, what is leadership? What is leadership without accountability? Now it seems the only time we speak to one another is during election weekend when it's time to turn up. Yeah, I said it. Why? Why aren't we reaching back? Where's the accountability? Where are our priorities? Why is it we can pack out a comedy show during homecoming, but only half of Al Lawson is full during convocation? I wish I had a witness. Why don't we have money for test books, but we're at every party? I've been guilty. Why is it we complain about class, but not going to our chapter meetings? Understand this. I don't have an issue with Greek organizations. I love my Greek organizations. What I have an issue with is when the letters on your back means more important than the letters in your classroom. Where's the accountability? I don't have an issue with the moon. I have an issue when the moon comes more important than managerial accounting. I can care less about you going to top flight, but don't complain about coming to form. Where's the accountability? Where is the accountability? Leaders, where are my leaders? I'll tell you where accountability went. It left when we started caring too much about what people thought about us. It left. We care too much about what people think about us. Dr. Charles, she gave a presentation not too long ago, a couple forums ago, and she spoke about self-reflection. Y'all remember that? She spoke about self-reflection, and she said that it's important to know what people think about you, and it's important to understand and know what others really think about you. But if I can add on to that, our generation, we focus on the wrong areas of getting folks to like us. It's okay to want to be liked, but when did it become okay to publicize Instagram videos of us degrading ourselves in clubs? I mean, you mean to tell me there's nothing entertaining on television We rather post information on Twitter degrading this university. It's nothing on TV. There's not a red box in your area. That's what happened. We care too much about what people think about us. And we're trying to be liked in areas which really does not matter. Which leads me to my final point, because I think they're about to get me off the stage in a minute. Being an SBI leader is all about leading with purpose. I see Wayne in the back. I played the hardest drum in the hardest working section in the hardest working band. And I remember banging out on the bass drum one time. Dad, you slapped me inside the head a couple times when I was playing the drums with you for playing too loud. But obviously I didn't learn because I came here and still got slapped inside the head. And I mean that metaphorically, I don't take that physically. I had to clean that up. But I was banging out on the drums, and Dr. James, one of my mentors in the Marching 100, he came up to me and he said, "Why are you playing so loud?" I said, "Doc, I had the biggest drum. You know, the band is supposed to hear me when I play the drums. They're supposed to hear the bass drum." And he said, "No, that's not your job. That's not your purpose. Although you may be the biggest thing on the field, your purpose is to be felt and not heard. And as leaders, you may walk in the room and you may be the biggest thing in the room. You may demand all the attention. And then when you walked in here, people probably looked at you like, there's a leader right there. But as a generation and as leaders, we have to learn to do less of this and more of this. Sometimes it takes just sitting back and leading and having programs felt. Sometimes it takes just less of this and more action, more leadership. And so I leave you with this quote. Don't wait to do it now. Don't wait to do it now. Dr. Martin Luther King, he didn't wait until he got in his position to act in a leadership capacity. Practice does not make perfect, because you can practice the wrong thing and be good at it. And really, my grandmother get up here and she say, well, ain't nothing perfect but Jesus, baby. But start practicing the right stuff now, so that when you do get what belongs to you, you'll already be doing it. What does it mean to be an SBI leader? What does it mean to be an SBI leader? That's my time. Thank you.
FAMU, I love thee. I'll fight and win whatever the battle be. The orange and the green, thy sun shall ever defend. And lower your two Bibles of love.